All right, let's get it started here. We're talking 4.3. We're talking rotations. Happy day. Can't wait. Ooh, ooh. I'm excited. All right. Let's talk about some rotations. So we're going to try rotating things 90, 180, 270, and 360 degrees. Okay. Now, here's the deal. We're also going to add in some double transformations at the end. All right. And then that'll be a bit of a challenge for you. I'm excited. Can't you tell by the sound of my voice? Happy day. So we have rotation. So if I'm you, I am actually writing all this down. All right, this is 4.3. Okay, rotations. That's what I would title my notes, and I would include all of this. If I want to rotate 90 degrees, so I want to take an ordered pair and rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to take my original ordered pair. Notice how I'm writing in green. Green means go. That means write it down. Here we go. X comma Y. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip them. Y comma X. And I'm going to make my Y, and I'm going to make my the opposite of my Y value. That's for 90. Wow. Okay, let's try 180. So I got X comma Y. I'm not going to flip my X and my Ys. I'm just going to take the opposite of each. Think about if it was in quadrant 1. All right, the upper right hand were both positive, X and Y are both positive. I want to rotate it 180 degrees. That's all the way down to quadrant 3. Both X and Y are negative. All right, that's what that's saying. That's what we mean. 270 is a little bit different. I was going to sneeze. It's the 180 plus 90. Okay, so it's 3/4 of the way. So I'm going to start with my X comma Y. And I'm going to flip them, but I'm going to take the opposite of my X values. All right, opposite of my X values. Okay. Not my Y's. Okay. How about if we do 360? Well, that's a great question. I'm so happy you asked that. Good question. If I do 360, nothing's going to change. It's just going to be right back where we started. 360 is a full circle. Nothing changes. That's just a fun one. That's for that's for fun. All right, but actually, no, you should write that down too. All right, let's keep going. Okay. Remember, you can pause at any time and write down the notes and then resume it. But let's resume. Here we go. So I got to rotate ABC 270 about the origin. Remember what I said? Oh, wait, if it's 270, all right, if it's 270, what do we do for 270? Great question. X comma Y becomes Y negative X. Okay, so A is 2, 2, B is 3, 4, and then C is 4, 1. Okay, so X comma Y becomes Y opposite of X. So with 2, 2, it doesn't really make much of a difference. With 3, 4, it does, because now my Y comes first, and I take the opposite of my X value. Y comes first, and I take the opposite of my X value. So again, if I'm you and I'm taking notes, you don't necessarily have to write this graph down, but I would for sure write these ordered pairs down. All right. If I were to graph this, great question. Good job asking it. 2, -2, 4, -3, and 1, -4 would look like this. I'd have A, B prime, and C prime. Think about that. That's 270 degrees. I rotated 90, 180, 270, 360. Be right back at the beginning. Woo! Woo! So let's keep going. Oh! Rotated 90 degrees about the origin. Okay, what's A? A is -4, -3. B is -6, -2. Oh! C is -4, -1. If it's 90 degrees, X, Y, oh! becomes -Y comma X. Like X. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long day. I've been out here working all day. It's been a long one. All right, trying to spice this up a little bit for myself. Okay, so opposite of Y, then x. Here we go. -4, -3. Opposite of -3 is 3. X does not change. Opposite of y of -3 is 3, and then I write my x. Opposite of y is 1, -4. 3, comma, -4. 3, comma, -6. Pick up 6. It's all the way off the grid. Let's maybe raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. All right, and then 1, -4. So that's A prime, B prime, C prime. Connect my dots. Boom. Wow. 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 Ew. 270 about the origin. We just did the 270, but let's do it again because we had so much fun. Did you have fun? I did. Thank you for asking. So 270, my rule is X, Y becomes, what is that? Y -X, yeah. Y, holy buckets, I got it right there on that. Y -X. Wow, struggling today. All right, so Y is 2. Opposite of X is -2. Y is 2. Opposite of X is -5. Y is 4. Opposite of 5 is -5. Y is 5. Opposite of 2 is -2. There are 4 points. Again, I would make sure you're writing these down. Maybe not write the graph. That's okay. Here's J, K, JK, L, OL. There you go. And that's what it would look like. Wow. So I mean, honestly, like when we were talking earlier this week, sometimes like when I just translate a figure, I can just count and move it. Okay. When you're doing rotations, though, you can't do that. All right. It's hard to rotate something 270 degrees just by looking at it visually. I teach geometry. and it's hard for me sometimes. I'm a very visual person. Okay. So I would recommend understanding how to use these little shortcuts here. Okay, by shortcuts, I mean rules for the things and stuff and things and stuff. And things and stuff. Here we go. 180 degrees. 180 degrees is a little bit easier. X comma Y. It's just the double opposite. All right, double opposite. So they both are negative. -5, -2. Look, it's already graphed over here for us anyway. All right, -5, -4, and -2, -5. Oh! Oh! That was fun. Are we done? How about that rhyme? One more time. Here we go. This is just a little bit of some stuff. This is just another visual representation. If I were to rotate AB 90 degrees, boom, there it would be. All right, that's what would happen. Okay, or sorry, if I were to rotate my figure 90 degrees, it would look like that. 180, 270. Okay, 360 would be right back with the original. It's just showing you a visual representation of how that works. 90 degrees, 180, 270, 360. Oh! Oh! Here we go. All right, so now we got a two-stepper. Okay, 2 steps. 2 steps. All right, how many? We're going 2. Okay, so I'm going to write down my points. 2, B is 5, 1, and then C is 4, 4. So step 1 is 180 degrees. So that's X comma Y becomes double negative. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, double negative, so -2, -2. -5, -1. -4, -4. A double prime. This is the spot for our second transformation. Our second transformation is left 3, up 2. Now, it would have been helpful if this graph that I included here was bigger, and you could see the entire graph. Unfortunately, I was just poor planning on my part. I apologize for that. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to think a little bit. Okay, we're just going to have to think a little bit. We're capable of thinking a little bit, so let's think a little bit. Why don't you think a little bit? Okay, so as we think a little bit, if I'm moving my... okay, sorry. So as we're thinking... okay, let's think about this. Okay? If I want to shift to the left 3, okay, if I'm shifting to the left 3, what am I doing? My x's are getting smaller. All right. If I shift to the left, x is decreasing, which means if I want to decrease the operation I'm going to use is subtraction. So obviously, just in a general case, if you had a better graph, you would just shift it just by counting. Fortunately, we don't, so we have to think about using our operations. So I'm going to use subtraction. So I'm going to take every x value and I'm going to subtract 3. If I'm talking about y, actually not y, if I'm talking about moving up 2, that refers to my y-axis. So if I'm moving up 2, I'm increasing. If I take this and I move it up 2, I'm increasing my y values by 2. If I'm moving down, I decrease, right? I'd subtract. So since we're increasing, I'm just going to add 2 to all my y's. All right? So I'm going to take each of these x values and subtract 3. I'm going to do that first. Okay, then I'm going to go and do my y's. All right, just to stay consistent. So -2 minus 3, -5. -5 minus 3, -8. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I start here? Okay, that's a good question. I should have discussed that first. I want to go in order. Okay, so I started ABC, and then I rotated 180 degrees. Now I take that 180 degree rotation and shift it. All right, and translate it and move it around. I don't take the original and shift it, okay, because then I'd have 2 different triangles. Okay, there's gonna be 3 different triangles. What I want is my original triangle and my final transformation. My final transformation is the translation. So the step 2 will go based off of step 1. All right, obviously think about it in order, 1 then 2, right? Well, I'm going to start with 1, and I'm going to apply this translation now. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Sorry about that tangent. -4 minus 3 is -7. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 to all my y values. -2 right here. -2 plus 2 is 0. -1 plus 2 is 1. And -4 plus 2 is -2. So these would be my final points. If this were an assessment, your final answer would be this. Maybe we would ask you for these as well. Okay, but note that a double prime, that's a double prime, that's 2 apostrophes. That means it's the second step. That's why it's double prime. Okay, this is going to be part of your exit slip. All right, this will be the first one, and then it'll be the second one. Okay. Sound good? Sounds good to me. That's the end of the video. All right. Now, at this point, yes.